Hello, dear family. Welcome to Echoes and Tales. Kindly hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It truly means the world to us. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones, and be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss our upcoming stories. We truly appreciate your support. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the tale. False dawn painted the horizon ash blue when Bwanaka's riders crept toward Nkuli, hooves wrapped in wet hides to muffle sound. At their lead rode Captain Mwonge, eyes cold as river stones. Behind him, warriors carried gourds sloshing with lamp oil and bundles of dry reeds ready to bloom into fire. But Nkuli did not sleep. The nanny goat, bedded near Sanyu, rose first, ears twitching. She butted the hut door thrice, thump, 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 then trotted to the courtyard, bleating a warning hymn only goats know. Sentries, young men perched in fig trees, heard and blew antelope horns. The compound stirred like a kicked beehive. Kato and Kibu strapped leather shields. Sanyu armed herself with a sling weighted by river stones, and villagers formed a crescent behind the grove wall. The drum boomed, echoing through banana stems, rattling dewdrops onto the riders below. Captain Mwonge signaled the charge. Horses surged uphill. Arrows flew. Flame gourds shattered against the clay wall, sputtering fire that licked dry thatch. Children dashed with gourds of fermented cow urine, pungent but quick to drown sparks. Potters flung sling stones that shattered on helmets, releasing shards sharp as new moon tips. Hunters loosed arrows. One found the captain's shoulder, spinning him from the saddle. Sanyu spotted a rider vaulting over the wall. Heart steady, she whirled her sling. The stone hummed the tune of justice and struck his temple. He dropped, oil gourds spilling harmlessly on wet soil. Battle raged until the sun's rim crowned the hill. Seeing their captain wounded, riders faltered. Kato seized the drum, striking a rhythm older than war, a beat that promised triumph to the brave and shame to the cruel. Villagers advanced, shields locked, voices raised in the song Sanyu had taught them by the cave pool. Mwonge, bleeding and disoriented, ordered retreat. Downhill the copper riders fled, chased by goat herds banging pots. Nkuli's people did not pursue far. Victory sang loud enough without needless death. When calm returned, roofs still smoked but stood unburned. Kibu clasped Sanyu's shoulders. "Your courage lit this victory," he said. She answered, eyes shining. It was the twins' drum and a whole clan's heartbeat that drowned Bwanaka's fire. Yet in the valley's haze a darker cloud gathered, for Lord Bwanaka, hearing of defeat, prepared to come himself, bearing gifts of gold and a dagger hidden beneath. Down in the valley where reeds whisper secrets and owls dream by day, Lord Bwanaka prepared his second coming, not as thunder this time, but as honeyed rain. He shed his iron cloak and wrapped himself in silk dyed like sunset. With him he brought not warriors but dancers and drummers, flutes and fine beads. His tongue sharpened not for command, but for praise. "Let them think me a friend," he muttered, "while I measure the spine of their leaders." Hidden in the folds of his offering basket lay a dagger with a serpent handle, black iron forged with curses by night bloodsmiths. It thirsted not for many, only one, Sanyu. The sun was still soft when his caravan wound up Nkuli Hill. Children ran ahead, shouting, "Visitors!" with gifts. Drums welcomed them, but not the war drum. This was the rhythm of guests, of mango wine, of lazy laughter. Kato met him at the gate, guarded yet polite. "Strange that thunder yesterday rides in sandals today." Lord Bwanaka laughed, smooth as fresh milk. Even the lion, when shamed, must learn to purr. Sanyu appeared, eyes wary. She wore a dress of woven banana fiber, simple but proud. Lord Bwanaka bowed low. "Daughter of the hills, I come not to steal, but to ask. Return with me, and I shall make you wife to a chief, mistress of lands as wide as mist." The clan listened. Some murmured, "It's not unwise." Others clenched fists. Sanyu stood still, then said, "When a hawk offers you feathers, look to your shadow. Has it not shrunk?" The elders nodded. Kibu whispered, "This honey drips blood." That night, while Nkuli slept, Lord Bwanaka crept to the goat's hut. Dagger in hand, he slithered like a vine. But the nanny goat stirred, and with a butt so fierce it cracked bone, she flung him into a gourd pile. His cries woke the hill. By dawn, he was gone, the dagger left behind. Still thirsty, Word of Bwanaka's shame galloped faster than any horse. Villages near and far whispered of Nkuli's goat that guarded like a spirit, of a girl who turned down a lord, of twins who drummed storms into retreat. But fame, like fire, draws both warmth and wasps. One moon later, a traveler arrived. His robe was gray as old fog, and no one saw his face, only the gleam of his gourd drum, bound with snakeskin. "I seek the drummers of Nkuli," he said, voice like dried leaves scraping stone. The twins met him under the baobab. "What brings you, elder?" asked Cato. The man chuckled. "I bring challenge. Drum against me at moonrise. If I win, your drum is mine. If you win, I leave a gift greater than gold." Kibu frowned. "What if we refuse?" The man's voice turned hollow. "Then, your drums shall fall silent forever." The clan gathered that night. Moon hung like a gourd cut in half. The man sat cross-legged, drum on lap. His hands moved, and sound came, not music but echoes of grief. Babies wailing, trees crying in drought, ancestors groaning in dry graves. Women covered their ears. A child fainted. Then Cato struck first, 4 beats like oxen hooves. Kibu followed with rain on tin beats. Together they summoned thunder, bird flight, heartbeat, laughter. Sanyu stepped forward and sang, a simple tune from her childhood, sweet and sad. The stranger's drum faltered. His hands trembled. Suddenly, Sanyu pointed. "Look!" He casts no shadow. All gasped. In the moonlight, only the twins, the drum, and villagers had shadows. The stranger had none. He shrieked, and smoke poured from his mouth. His form unraveled, like cloth in fire. Where he sat, only the snakeskin drum remained, silent, cracked, and cold. The twins buried it beneath the talking stone, far from curious feet. And from that night on, no visitor entered Nkuli without showing their shadow. Seasons turned like a calabash bowl in strong hands. Rain ceased for weeks. The land cracked, and streams whispered of thirst. Crops withered. Goats cried at empty troughs. The villagers looked skyward, hoping for clouds. One morning, Kibu found a feather on the drum, blue as dusk, warm to the touch. "The rainbirds," he murmured. "They've returned." In old tales, rainbirds were spirits, once humans who danced so joyously the sky fell in love with them and took them as clouds. But they returned in feathers and wind songs when the earth's heart was too dry. The twins followed the trail of feathers through the thicket, past the cliff of echoes, until they reached a glade where sunlight shimmered like a dream. There, 3 birds danced, taller than men, with wings like cloaks and eyes of stormwater. "You summoned us with truth," said one. "But truth must be fed." "Fed with what?" asked Cato. "Sacrifice," said the second bird, "not of blood but of pride." They asked Nkuli's people to offer something they cherished. Songs unsung, tools unused, gifts ungiven. One by one, villagers placed offerings in the glade. A hunter gave his best arrow. A child gave her lullaby. Sanyu stepped forth and placed her voice. "I will not speak until the rain returns," she vowed. The birds lifted their wings. A wind rose. Not angry, but solemn. The sky darkened. A drop fell, then 2. Then the clouds opened like gourds, and the land drank. For 7 days, rain fell. Crops greened. The river hummed again. On the 8th day, the birds were gone. But in the glade, the feathers remained, and Sanyu's voice returned, stronger, deeper, full of sky. And when she spoke again, her words made even old grandmother Naka weep, saying, "This girl was born of earth, but now she speaks with cloud." When rain saturates soil, secrets rise like mushrooms after dusk. As Nkuli's fields burst green, potters dug fresh clay from the riverside. In the red earth, they uncovered shards, ancient pots etched with the spiral sigil of Chief Mugabe's forebears. Elder Potter Masoke brought a fragment to the twins. "Your ancestors stored wisdom," he said. "Listen, the pots still speak." Cato held the shard to his ear. A faint hum vibrated, like a conch murmuring sea tales, though it never saw the ocean. Kibu tried next and heard something clearer. "Guard the drum, for drums guard the people." They summoned Sanyu. She placed the shard upon the lion drum and sang in the key the rainbirds had gifted. A tremor traveled through wood and clay. The shard reformed lines of long-faded script, revealing a map. The map showed tunnels beneath Nkuli, ancient grain vaults where elders once hid seed against siege. If Bwanika strikes again, Cato mused, our children could shelter here. That night they led a lantern procession to the hillside, marked on the shard. Beneath creeper vines they found a limestone door sealed with mud. Musoke recited a potter's prayer. The door sighed open, breathing out cool air scented with forgotten harvests. Inside lay rows of clay jars, intact, each sealed with beeswax. Sanyu broke one open. Millet as golden as morning, untouched by weevils. Elders wept for joy. But further in, they found carvings of masked figures, men without shadows, like the vanished drummer. One carving held an iron dagger crowned by a serpent, twin to Bwanika's cursed blade. Kibu's voice dropped to a whisper. These tunnels hide more than grain. They keep memories of battles fought before our fathers' fathers. They resealed the vault, posting guards day and night, for they knew whatever ancient evil once slithered beneath Nkuli was stirring again, and memory alone could not chain it. With fields thriving, Nkuli folk traveled to the great crossroads market to trade surplus yams for salt and bright kente cloth. Sanyu joined, leading the moon-eyed nanny goat loaded with gourds of goat milk cheese coveted by distant tea-land traders. The market was a river of colors, spices in pyramids, storytellers juggling words, smiths hammering iron like thunder. Yet among the bustle prowled the market of three lies, a lane where every stall bragged wonders that were not wholly true, nor wholly false. First, a peddler offered Kibu a clay whistle. Blow once, lion flees. Blow twice, gold falls. Kibu laughed, but bought it anyway, for children love whistles more than lions love fear. Second, a veiled woman tempted Sanyu with a mirror no larger than a cowrie shell. See the face of your truest love, she crooned. Sanyu peered in and saw herself, hair-streaked silver, eyes bright with wisdom. She thanked the woman but paid only with a smile, for wisdom cannot be bought. Third, a lanky man beckoned Cato to a stall draped in shadow. I sell futures, he hissed. On his mat lay parchment rolls tied with red twine. Pick any scroll. Read tomorrow. Cato unrolled one. Words bloomed. The twin who lets envy sprout shall reap graves. Heat pricked his skin. He thrust the scroll back, but the man was gone, stall empty. That night by campfire, Cato wrestled those words. He trusted his brother, yet shadows of doubt crawled like ants under his skin. He tossed the whistle to Kibu, feigning play, but watched as Kibu laughed with Sanyu, eyes shining together in firelight. The whistle's shrill note rose. Somewhere beyond the circle, a real lion roared in answer. Children squealed, adults clapped, and tension slipped away. Yet the scroll's omen coiled in Cato's chest like a sleeping snake, awaiting the warmth of jealousy to wake it. Nkuli marked seasons by moons. When twin crescents curved in the sky, one fading, one newborn, the clan held a feast honoring duality, life and death, rain and drought, quarrel and concord. This year, the twins dedicated the feast to unity regained. Villagers lined the square with strings of fireflies trapped in calabash cages, their glow pulsing like distant drums. Women brewed sorghum beer. Hunters roasted antelope. Children rehearsed dances mimicking rainbirds. At sunset, Cato addressed the crowd. Tonight, two moons remind us we can differ, yet still shine the same sky. He lifted a calabash, meaning to toast, but the nanny goat bleated, nipping his robe. Elder Naka laughed. Even goats give counsel. Spill none for vanity. Festivities swelled. Sanyu led a dance, braids whirling like comet tails. Kibu beat a hand drum. New rhythms, young but true. Cato played the lion drum, its voice deeper, older. Their beats intertwined, thunder and river, hammer and anvil, heart and breath. Mid-dance, sparks spiraled from the bonfire. In their swirl, Cato glimpsed an ember form, a serpent coiling around twin stars. His hands faltered, the rhythm stumbled. Dancers paused. Kibu steadied the beat, seamlessly guiding the song back. Laughter resumed, but Cato's mind clung to the fire serpent. The scroll's warning hissed louder. Envy sprout, graves reap. He watched Sanyu's smile, lit by torch glow, as she clasped Kibu's shoulder in gratitude. Later, while drums cooled and villagers dozed, Cato walked the grove alone. Moon shadows stretched like spears. He pressed a palm to the lion drum, feeling its silent pulse. Father, he whispered, Am I losing my brother to love, or losing myself to fear? Leaves rustled, but gave no answer. Yet somewhere beyond the banana rows, a pair of copper eyes blinked. Lord Buonica's scout, noting every crack in the twins' bond, ready to pry it wider when the hour was ripe. The scout who watched from the grove was called Maniere, a man thin as drought and sly as a fishing cat. He wore copper bangles, dulled with ash, so moonlight would not betray him. In his pouch he kept vials of silence dust, blown to hush footfalls, and slivers of mirror to flash secret signals valleyward. Maniere slipped into Lord Buonica's camp before dawn. The lord lounged beneath a silk canopy, anger banked like a coal ready to flare. "Speak," Buonica snapped. Maniere knelt. Nkuli stands strong, but a fracture grows between the twin drums. Envy worms Cato's heart. Feed it, and the clan will split like green wood and fire. Buonica's smile was a panther stretching. "And the cost for such wisdom?" "Freedom," Maniere whispered. "Release me from your copper chain of service." Buonica placed 2 coins on his tongue. Old magic, binding as iron. Bring me the lion drum, or choke on betrayal. The bargain sealed. Maniere set off, pockets heavy with treachery. Back on Nkuli Hill, Kibu and Sanyu planned a work party to clear new terraces for cassava. Cato watched but did not join. Instead, he roamed the banana rows, brooding over serpent embers and scroll warnings. Near dusk, he found Maniere resting by a stump, posing as a weary traveler. The scout's voice dripped sympathy. "Brother, I feel a storm inside you. Share, and let the clouds pass." Cato, craving a confessor, spoke of scroll omens, of fear Sanyu's love might uproot the twin bond. Maniere's eyes gleamed. "Your father's drum judges all. Why not ask it whom Sanyu's heart truly favors? Drum once for truth. If she is for Kibu, you'll know." Cato hesitated. "The drum is for clan, not for courting. Yet clan crumbles when hearts lie," whispered Maniere. He left Cato chewing the bait. In the hush, he dropped a silence dust pinch near the goat hut, preparing paths night thieves might tread. Moon climbed. Cato's fingers itched toward the drumhouse. Envy stirred like a snake wakening to flute music. Unaware the piper was a spy. That brings us to the end of the story. What lesson did you take from it? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll know whenever we release a new video. Also, feel free to share this with someone who might enjoy it. Thank you so much.